try this to do a live stream. I've never actually spoke by myself before, so I figured I'd try something new. Just wanted to share everybody the experiences that I had in Grenada. My wife and I took part in Carnival. We got to know the Caribbean and just to see how truly spiritual other countries are. Just not only in Canada, like Canada, we're getting more spiritual, and I'm loving every minute of it. There's just so much more to life that we don't realize. And through meditation, through breath work, like we did ice baths in the heart of Playa del Carmen, right on the beach. And you had to do a 15-minute breath work beforehand. But I want to ask people, what is something that you've done that's out of your comfort zone? And what motivated you to try that, to get out of your comfort zone? To me, what motivated me was the fact that I allowed fear to basically control me. And I allowed it to keep me from trying new things. Like my wife and I, we went to explore Fuego, and it's a park just outside of Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And we got to zip line. And I don't know if you guys have done zip lining before, but there is even higher than what you would normally zip line through. And you go 8 times. You go from one tower to the next, to the next, to the next, and then finally you end by going through water, and the water is what slows you down. But before that, you were a zip line, and I don't know how fast I was going, but it was a good amount of speed. And what stops you is these blocks, and you connect with these blocks, and then there's a person waiting there to like catch you. And then you climb up the next set of stairs to get to the next tower, and you repeat the same thing 7 or 8 times. I can't remember fully. But the very last time, it's not the blocks that stop you. You literally like go into water, and water slows you down. And then you got to turn yourself around, and then you got to paddle yourself to get back. So that's totally something that I did out of my comfort zone. And then the ice baths on top of it was like, wow, man. Like when you put your body through that kind of shift, even like just to sit in a tub full of freezing water with ice in it, and then you have to submerge your body in it. It's mind-blowing how the body really truly works. At first you feel like the tingling and everything, and then after that minute it's like you're in the zone, you're ready for it. And we were doing like 3 minutes. I think it was 3 minutes and 50 seconds. We did it twice. It was just mind-blowing. And there we were walking like every single day. Like it was crazy. Like we just walked everywhere except when we went to explore Fuego. And then we got to go to the Mayan ruins, and we got to like basically hear about like how the Mayans lived and how there was this match they played. And it was interesting to hear how people were sacrificed. And we even got to see a cenote. It was like murky green water, and that's where women, children, men were sacrificed. And even like the captain of the winning team, he was sacrificed, but he was sacrificed to the gods. He wasn't sacrificed. It's interesting how other cultures do things like differently than we do. And to immerse yourself in another culture is beautiful. And we did the same thing when we were in Grenada. We immersed ourselves in the culture. We took part in Jab Jab. We took part in Pretty Bass. We took part in Color Jab. And it's basically soca music. I don't know if a lot of you in Canada listen to soca music, but it's a vibe, and it'll just pump you up, and it'll make you want to dance. Like myself, I never really was much for dancing, but being in Grenada, pulled something out of me, and I decided to just dance all the time. And that's basically what Carnival is. It's like it's a week of dancing and just not sleeping, more or less. It's nothing but bass, paint, colors, uh, great people, wonderful environment to be. I recommend everybody in Canada at least try Carnival once. I know here in Edmonton they do Cowrie West, and I'm not sure if it's like the same thing where everybody covers themselves in oil and walks down the street to honor their ancestors. But it was something else there. And then the food you got, we did what another thing was a spiritual retreat where we meditated and we were by waterfalls. And then we had a vegetarian cook and he made us oil down. I don't know if you've had oil down before, but it's so good. It's got breadfruit. It's like this giant thing. It looks like a coconut, but it's green. And the way they cook it is over fire. And basically everything's done by fire. It's not like in a stove or anything. They do it over like a hot fire. And they got lots of vegetables. And then they had these fritters. You literally tasted like there was meat in them, but he like cut up the vegetables nice and fine and he grilled it to perfection. And then we jumped off a waterfall and they had one that had like basically a slide and you slid down and you went into the water that way. It was great. And it just taught me a lot about getting out of my comfort zone and trying something new. And I never would have done that because before all of this, I was lost. I was in that victim mentality. I thought I was poor me. This is who I am. And nothing's ever going to amount to anything for me. So when I lost my mother, that was when I decided to change. And I stopped being that victim. So how many of you right now are struggling in that situation? How many of you go to a job every single day and you're miserable? But you know what I learned through journaling, from reading books, The Secret, how the law of attraction actually works? Because I developed the law of attraction at a young age. I attracted all that negativity and I kept it in my reality until I realized that I was creating all of that negativity. And when I stopped, and you almost have to get yourself literally out of the noise. You have to like be comfortable with your own company. And that was when I learned that I wasn't comfortable with my own company. I was comfortable playing video games. I was comfortable being around other people. I was comfortable watching movies and like not really dealing with what was going on with me. And through journaling, through meditation, through hypnosis, I found that I was creating all of this problem for myself. And I was blaming others. How many of you blame others for your problems? And then you don't actually deal with your problems. Instead, you think because something happened at work, it's your coworker's fault. No, it's your fault. Take your own responsibility. Take full ownership of what happens to you in life because it was all your choice. Because of the path you chose. And the one thing I've learned about life is things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And I know that sounds far-fetched to a lot of you, but it's true. Like, I mean, as much as it pains me to say this, my mother dying was my absolute blessing because if my mother was still alive, I would still be that same person. And that's the reality of it. I would still be working in a job where I was unhappy. I'd still be in a relationship where we were both unhappy. We basically trauma bonded. We didn't deal with our problems. We just put a Band-Aid on it and we said, yeah. And we would fight all the time, but we would never deal with it. We would just kind of push it aside and forget about it. And then it would resurface again because we hadn't dealt with that. And that's when I learned about shadow work and how our shadow is part of who we are. It's the alter ego that we created because we didn't want to be ourselves. We didn't know how to be ourselves. We thought, oh, I'm so different from others, so I'm going to create this person. I'm going to tell lies to myself to make this person. So if you can tell lies to yourself to make your shadow, you can also tell yourself over and over again that you're strong, you're beautiful, you're amazing. And you can do it over and over again. But we tell ourselves day in, day out, we're not good enough, we're not strong enough, we're not smart enough. And then we start to believe it. And that's how depression happens. That's really how mental health starts. It's not hereditary. It's that we create it. I had depression. I got myself out of depression because I dealt with it. I didn't use drugs. I used meditation. I used good food. I used journaling. That was how I got out of it. Not by going to see someone. Yes, I have coaches, I have mentors, but I didn't need a psychologist or psychiatrist to tell me what was wrong with me. I went to a psychologist and it did nothing for me. It didn't teach me anything about myself. I had to learn the hard way. I had to take the steps to get to know myself. And that was when I figured out how to heal. And now I help people. Actually, I don't help people. I just put people under hypnosis and you do all the work yourself. That's the beauty of quantum healing hypnosis. You have a list of questions you have for your subconscious. And you ask those questions during an induction. But first, we do a 2-hour interview to get to know you, understand you, see where you want, what you came for the session to begin with. But you can also take that, because I record the episode, or sorry, not the episode, I record the session and I give it to you so you can listen to it. And then you subconsciously program it into your brain to help you heal without the use of pharmaceuticals, without the use of instant gratifications like, I don't know, fast food, junk food, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes. You don't need those anymore because you can heal yourself just by listening to the recording. But also, you start to pay attention to see what your body wants, because your body is always communicating. You think your aches and all that is part of too much wear and tear in your body. It is, but it's also your body telling you it's time to change. You're holding on to something. You're burying stuff too deep down. And my body tried that for years with me, but I didn't listen. So how many of you right now are struggling with discomfort in some form or way? And if you are, what are you doing to make yourself not feel discomfort anymore? Well, this has been a wonderful moment to chat with all of you. I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Much love to you all. Bye.